In this video, we'll configure a data protection solution by integrating Veeam Backup and Replication with DataCore Swarm S3 compatible object storage. Then we'll demonstrate how to back up and restore a virtual machine on VMware vSphere. The process starts on the Swarm cluster with the creation of two elements needed by Veeam: a token for secure S3 authentication and an on-premises bucket with object locking. We can then add Swarm as an object storage repository for backups, using it as the capacity tier in Veeam Scale-out Backup Repository. This is where immutable copies of backup files will be stored for protection against ransomware, hardware failures, and accidental deletions. The Swarm Content Portal enables you to generate an S3 token, save its token ID and secret key. Next, create a bucket dedicated for these backups with an erasure coding ratio of 4:2 and content versioning enabled. Object locks on the bucket are set via the AWS CLI tool from a Windows or Linux host using the S3 API command. From the Veeam console, launch the Add Backup Repository wizard, choosing S3 compatible object storage. Following the fully qualified domain name for Swarm, fill in the token ID for the access key field along with the secret key. Browse for the bucket created earlier, adding a new folder for backups. Then set the number of days you wish recent backups to remain immutable. A separate backup repository allocated from direct attached storage on a Windows server will play the role of the performance tier. Now configure the Scale-out Backup Repository, starting with the performance tier as the first stage, then designating the Swarm repository for the capacity tier. Request a copy of backups on both, with the longer retention items moved to Swarm after a few days to free up space on the local drive. In addition to immutability, files offloaded to Swarm will be encrypted for extra security. With the storage repositories configured, it's time to back up a virtual machine from a vSphere cluster, designating the DataCore Scale-out Backup Repository as our destination. Set up a recurring schedule and ask it to start the job when done. With the job underway, let's see what's going on in the Swarm cluster. Veeam will upload numerous files, applying object locks for compliance, making them immutable so they cannot be tampered with for several days. If you're curious, this structure chart and the accompanying descriptions help you decipher their contents. With a few simple steps, you may restore the virtual machine from the last backup in case the active VM was corrupted or accidentally deleted. Change the name with a suffix to distinguish it from the original and take the precaution of scanning for malware. When possible, files are restored from the performance tier. But before kicking off this restore job, let's simulate a problem in the performance tier by putting it in maintenance mode. This condition causes Veeam to pull the backup copy from the capacity tier instead. The Swarm chart for bandwidth used ramps up as files are downloaded. Once completed, the restored VM appears in the vSphere inventory, ready for use. And that completes the demonstration of the data protection solution made possible through the integration of backup software from Veeam and object storage software from DataCore. Thank you.